right, hello you beautiful people and welcome back to Big Ben's Movie Show. We are back again this week. We've been off for a little while. I've been hurt, but we are back and we got a lot of stuff to talk about. This week on the show, we're going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, which comes out today. Another cool fun thing, we're talking about a movie that comes out the day we do the show. How fun is that? We're also going to be talking about, and I didn't write down the rest of it, we're going to be talking about some of the headlines, big stuff going on in the world of Hollywood, as well as we're going to talk about who's going to be the box office champ for the whole summer. With me for this show, my favorite guest host, Chris Smith. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Pretty good.
That's the awkward wave. That's right. I'm the favorite. I'm the king.
It's been stated. It's on camera. It's on film, yeah.
That's right.
I'm sorry to all the other guest hosts, but Chris, come on, you knew.
As though my ego didn't need any more boosting.
In the same way that when you're the kid that's the least loved, you know. Come on, it's obvious. All right, well, let's get right into the headlines. So this is big things going on. Hacker, the Dark Overlord, that's actually what he's calling himself. Apparently it's a group, has hacked into Netflix and stolen one of their shows and is releasing it early. Orange is the New Black, the 5th season, is set to premiere on June 6th, but the Dark Overlord grabbed the show and put 10 episodes, there's 13, put the first 10 episodes all online. You can go download it right now if you want.
I don't think they are the first 10. I thought it was episode 2 through 11 or something.
Oh, really?
That's what I heard.
Well, that's not as much fun.
Exactly. It's like this weird ham-handed, we're going to release them. But
when I heard it was the first 10, I kind of thought, you know what I bet this might be? Netflix trying to sell the show.
Maybe.
Like, hey, go check out the first 10 episodes for free, and then come subscribe to us for the final 3 episodes.
That is not a bad plan.
It's not, right?
But apparently that's not what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, well, the other thing that the guy's doing, the Dark Overlord, he also hacked and stole the new XXX movie before it came out and threatened to release that early.
What he should have done is threatened. He actually threatened to release it early. Sorry, that is fantastic. That's fantastic phrasing. Pay up or I'm going to let this movie out.
I'm going to give this movie away for free. And here's the thing, though. In America, it was a bit of a joke of a movie, but in the rest of the world, it made hundreds of millions of dollars.
Okay.
Which I don't get it, but it's still whatever. They're going to do what they're going to do. But that's the thing. The Dark Overlord is also stating that he is going to continue to steal shows and then ransom them to the companies that make them and try to make money this way. I don't know. This is kind of a weird terrorism thing. Like, it's television terrorism.
I guess, part of me is thinking, between the hacks of emails last year and between the Sony hacks, Hollywood has got to get their, straight.
Yeah.
Like,
we're
past the time where
they're saying
they're
it's
figuring
not
this
the
out.
studios. The studios isn't where the leak is. It's the individual companies.
No, I understand
that are doing like digital,
No, I understand
CGI and
color
stuff
grading and all that
yeah.
stuff. No, I understand all that. Nevertheless, this is an industry-wide problem that, as you can see, this is a problem. But one thing that I thought was kind of interesting is, correct me if I'm wrong, is that he put out non-HD versions of all of them, which is, all right.
Maybe faster to upload?
Well, I'm sure it's faster to upload.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's like, okay.
I mean, maybe that's why he did it.
I'm sure that, okay, so he's pulling these things down, and then he's being skimpy about how he's uploading them, and I don't want to go for my bandwidth.
He's the Dark Overlord.
He's a Dark Overlord.
Maybe his mom won't let him use that much bandwidth.
Maybe. I don't know. I just think it's like, when I think about, as a fan, going out to, like, what kind of schmuck? I guess this is a better question. What kind of schmuck would be such a big fan of Orange is the New Black?
They have to watch it. And
but they're not going to subscribe to Netflix, the only place that's paying for that show to get made.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway. Moving right along, other big news. So Star Wars Episode 9, they just released this week. We knew there was going to be issues with the death of Carrie Fisher and what was going on with that story. Now we're being told that when Carrie Fisher died, they actually essentially had to start from scratch. They had a storyline all set up where she was going to be a major player in the 9th movie, and that because of the death, obviously they had to change that. So here's my question to you. Do you think they kill her off in Episode 8, or they let her die off screen somewhere in between Episode 8 and 9?
I don't know.
What would you do? As the great writer that you are, JetJarkins.com.
That's right. The book's not out yet, so let's
right.
What
would you do?
I might kill her off in between movies, just because one of the great things of deaths in film is the last lingering moments, the saying goodbye to loved ones, and all that kind of stuff. Kirk Spock against the glass.
Yeah.
You know.
And since you can't do that, having some CGI simulacrum of that, I don't think would be satisfying. I think that, you know, especially in scenes like that, there's like a lot of long, slow, lingering shots. And as we've noticed from the end of Star Wars Rogue One, some of they still have a little bit of a ways to go to get these synthetic actors up to snuff. Yeah.
So putting that much of an emotional scene in that relies on completely CGI humans, I don't think they could do it yet.
Interesting. Personally, what I would do is I would actually start Episode 9 with a big action battle sequence that would end in her dying.
Yeah, well, I guess if you want to make the end of her quick and not quick and painful, but quick and just shocking.
I don't want to have it happen in between, and then because that almost feels like you're like muting it, like it's like it didn't matter.
Well, you could. Matter. It would definitely matter. What I would do is somehow,
like a flashback or something.
No, I would do
like opening in the funeral?
Yeah, pan down, funeral's open. All right, we've done our mourning. Now let's go get the bastards.
And see, what I'm doing is just a little bit more cheesy because I'm like, no, I need an action sequence to open the movie.
Maybe. Oh no.
So, yeah,
see, that's the thing they've done so many different things that they've opened with action, opened with not action. You know, in a weird way, they almost did kind of do this with Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, where it opened up with an action sequence, which was essentially an assassination.
Yep.
Where they killed the bodyguard.
Yes.
So the double.
There you go.
Anyway.
All right. So that's into that. Last little bit of news, and this is a personal one just for Chris. A couple weeks back, we were.
Well, I was half right about this. He's not directing.
He's not directing. We were talking about the new Batman movie, as we do way too much on this show, and we were talking about Ben Affleck, and you put the idea out there that possibly Ben Affleck would just drop out of the movie altogether.
Right.
Like it was initially like, oh, but see now he's dropping out of directing, and watch next he'll be like, oh, I can only be in half the movie, and then eventually he'll drop out completely. But today he has started training to be the Batman, which means lots of hitting tires with hammers.
Could be.
Lots of pulling on those tires on ropes.
That's right. Lots
maybe
of rope.
A pull-up or two. Lots of swinging ropes up and down.
Right.
These are the things that you have to do to be Batman.
Apparently.
Yeah, it's not climbing. It's not ninja stuff. It's just hitting hammers with tires.
That's right.
It's hitting tires with hammers.
No, I like it the other way, where it takes the tire and throws it at the hammer.
And then bashes the hammer.
Right.
Yeah. So
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, this is the same Ben Affleck that told us 2 weeks before he dropped out as director that he's definitely directing.
Yeah.
So this until the movie comes out.
All over the place.
Yeah, he was all over the place.
He also made it sound like the movie might not even happen.
Right. That's
so,
right.
Yeah.
And
we don't have a script. Dude, you wrote the script. Who doesn't have a script?
Well, here's the thing. He doesn't have a script because he didn't like the script, and they hired Matt Reeves to direct the movie. And where's the script? Oh, they're starting over.
Yeah.
So they didn't have a script.
Who knows?
He was right.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about Batman again towards the end of the show, so if you like Batman, stick around for that. Moving along, it's time to review the big movie of the week, and it's one of the bigger movies of the summer, I think. It's Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Now, we both saw this last night, because you can now see movies early on Thursdays, so go check that out if you want to. But of course, this premieres tonight. You can go see it in theaters right now. And I guess right off the bat, let me just ask you, should people go see this movie?
Yeah, if you like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Marvel series of movies, I don't even think of them as individual series anymore.
No.
It's just one big, long
Marvel
serial of movies with 2 or 3 episodes a year.
Yeah.
If you like the Marvel movies, this is good. This is not one of the greats. This is, my initial impression is it was not one of the greats.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun. And I think we are in this weird place with the levels that certain pop culture movies have hit that saying something is just a nice, fun, good, enjoyable time at the movies is
somehow a diss.
Is somehow a diss, but that's what it is.
I really liked it. I'd give it a 7.5 or an 8. You're a monster.
Exactly. It's just like, it's good. It's not.
How dare you not like cut your hand open and swear a blood oath to this movie?
That's right. It's not. It's not the greatest of all time. It's not even among the greats of the last 5 or 6 Marvel movies. But
I'm going to disagree a little right there.
Oh, Civil War. Come on.
And see, I like Civil War, but for me, this was, to me, I thought it was a little bit funnier than the first Guardians of the Galaxy, and therefore I had a lot more fun watching it. And I really liked that it focused. To me, this movie did the things right that I wanted Avengers 2 to do. And Avengers 2 tried to do it and failed, and this movie does it right. There's a better focus on character. There's a better focus on camaraderie with the team, and I got to see all that in this movie. If anything, like the actual main plot of the movie was not what I was there for. I was there for fooling around on the ship and making jokes and being silly, and there's a ton of that. So I was happy, and then it was like, and then now we're gonna go do this. Oh right, because there has to be a plot for the movie.
Yeah.
And I guess we have to have a bad guy and go do that. Oh yeah.
That is.
Sure. Yeah. Go do that.
Yeah. One of my favorite podcasts, Pop Culture Happy Hour. They were talking about this, and they were talking about a trend that's irritated me in films, but they kind of put it into really good words, is usually the first movie in a series like this is about a team coming together.
Yeah.
And the second or subsequent movies is about fracturing the team.
Yeah.
Which is not fun
No.
to watch.
Not at all.
And you could imagine a different Guardians of the Galaxy 2 where they had some mission that they had to go on. Mm-hmm. So it kept all the team members together for the whole thing. You know, Star Trek movies have done this in their better iterations where they're all working together, bouncing back and forth off each other. Mm-hmm. Here, there was, I guess the question of this movie is, who is Peter Quill's father?
Yep.
And kind of what's the story there, and we delve into a mystery there. But a lot of it is, these 3 characters are off over here, these 3 characters are off over there, these 2 characters are off over there, and it's.
And although the team wasn't wasn't in danger of breaking up, they did get separated.
Yeah.
To go on their 2 separate
and it was,
missions.
I think at one point it's like 3 or 4 different little broken out things, but. It's fun, but I noticed with the audience I was with, they were really with it for the first 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. Then there was kind of like an hour where it's like, oh, okay, where's this going?
Interesting.
Like they liked it, but you could definitely feel the
air let out of the room.
The air go out of the room. Huh. And then it kind of built back up. Mm-hmm. But it did have a good ending, which I'm always a big believer is you can kind of spin all over the place as long as you have
your ending is good. Yeah.
As long as you stick the ending, and they did stick the ending, but there's something about summer movies where they're always 20 minutes too long. And I think this one is definitely 20 minutes too long.
Let me ask you this: a lot of people have been talking about this one having giving all the feels. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of tugging of heartstrings. At any point, did you actually get caught up emotionally in the movie?
A little bit. I think part of it is, and I'm trying to think about this when I think about, because one of my favorite things going on in film right now is the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe experiment of building one story or one set of stories over, it's going to be 17 or 18 movies in just the first decade of that project. Is they're very good at keeping quality from going below a certain level. Yeah. But they're kind of the working by committee, and it seems to be, for once in Hollywood, a committee that actually is working well on making sure that they don't screw things up, being faithful to the source material while not being slavish to the source material. Yeah. So they're doing all this great stuff. But this one, for me, felt like it's really funny, it's really clever, it's really there, but I could almost see the machine putting it all together a little bit. Okay. Which, because it works, it's not really usually that's a complaint for movies that aren't working, and then you just throw your hands up and say, oh, well, it's just corporate crap and who cares? Yeah. But when it's enjoyable and it's fun and they do deliver on what they kind of promise, then you can't really fault them for not being great. Yeah. but at the same time, it did feel a little not quite earned for what they were trying to hit.
Okay. I will agree with that. So the emotional stuff at the end of the movie, it probably would have hit me harder if they had earned it a little bit more.
Yeah.
They were just this short of actually, like, if they had earned it a little bit more, I probably would have just wept openly.
Yeah.
And instead, there's a line from the raccoon that he said it, and I went,
Yeah.
And I tightened up because I'm like, here it comes the tears, and then it didn't happen, but I got really close.
Yeah.
And as soon as it happened, I immediately stood back and marveled at myself of like, holy crap. Like, yeah, did you see how I did that? Like, holy crap, you're about to cry at a Marvel movie. Like, because I've never even gotten close to crying in a Marvel movie.
Which I think is interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, but this one really, like, it hit, I mean, the movie's a lot about a lot of father issues, and that's usually a thing that, just relationship with my own father, becoming a father myself, that usually hits me pretty hard.
Yeah.
Didn't so much in this, but the raccoon one.
Yeah.
The raccoon one got me, man.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I was really amazed at that.
Yeah.
So, all right, out of 10, what would you do? We'll go halves.
I haven't even thought about it. 7.5 or 8.
Okay.
I mean, that is the weird thing with how good these Marvel movies are.
Yeah.
Is you start to, like, to use a car as a metaphor, is, for a movie or a car, it's, well, does it work on its basic level? Does it get me from point A to point B? And yeah, it does, but it's also got these cool features. And after a while, as you graduate into buying better cars or whatever, theoretically, throughout your life, you get to the point where you're not complaining that it's breaking down. You're complaining about the shade of the color of the this or the that. Yeah. And you're
Sometimes
taking
the black leather makes my butt hot in the summertime
exactly.
when I sit in it. Yeah.
So you're kind of like, you're finding these little tiny things to complain about when the overall big picture is
nice.
Still nice and fantastic and great. So it is really good, but it's not. I think that is what I'm feeling a little bit with these Marvel movies. Is I'm missing.
You're tired of how just basically good they are?
No, well, that's the thing, is I'm tired of them. Now, I'm not tired of them being good, but they're good, but they never hit that level like the middle passage or the end of The Dark Knight, or the end of Superman, or where it just really hits a different level of filmmaking, where it leaves being a fun comic book movie to being like a great type of movie,
like a Logan.
Standing. I got problems with Logan.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Like Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's something where it's so good in doing its own narrow little thing that it becomes great outside of its normal box of genre.
Well, and it takes you out of that place of like, oh, I'm evaluating a movie as an adult, and to just like, I'm watching a movie and it's fun and I'm a child.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
And you're right. This one didn't ever take me completely out of that. Like, I was always a grown-up sitting in a theater watching a movie.
Yeah.
It didn't quite take me out of that into the, transporting me back into the body of a 12-year-old. So.
Right.
Okay, I would also give it about an 8. I'd probably lean, like if I leaned anywhere else, it would be 8.5. But I feel more solid about 8.
Right.
So 8 feels good. It's an 8. It's a good, fun movie. So, next topic up that we're going to talk about, because this is the first big movie of the summer. It's set to have a very big opening weekend. The numbers they're talking about are somewhere around 150, 160 million. Mm-hmm. So, but we got a pile of other movies coming out this summer. We're going to look at a couple of them real quick, just picture-wise, and talk about who's going to win the whole summer. All right. So the summer months. Before we start, we should kind of clarify the rules. Like Fate of the Furious, which is already closing on. It's already made $1 billion. Doesn't count. Came out in April. It's not a summer movie. That is a spring movie, and I understand March and April are now giant months. That the Fast and Furious movies own April,
right?
And then there's always a big thing that comes out in March. But
they're also graded on a wicked curve, because people's expectations of those movies are so
low.
Damn low that all they have to do is have a car.
Were there cars? Did they drive fast?
There you go. Success.
So yeah. Okay, so looking at the big summer movies, which one's going to make the most money? We start out with Guardians. And then we look at the next one coming up is Pirates 5. Pirates Dead Men Tell No Tales. Mm-hmm. Then after that, it's actually Wonder Woman is the next big one. Then the next month there's Spider-Man Homecoming. We have Dark Tower, comes out in August. Despicable Me 3, Transformers 5, and Cars 3. And I know in the booth they're probably scrambling for images on that. Don't worry about it. We're just talking about them. So okay. So but looking at those big movies, you actually mentioned a couple too. You mentioned Dunkirk.
Well, I've noticed that none of the kind of the female-oriented comedies are on here, but. Well, actually, why don't you say your thing? And
do you think Snatched has a chance of being one of the top movies of the summer?
No, maybe Rough Night or something. I don't know. Maybe not the top movie. Well, actually, you know what? Say what you think is going to be the top movie this summer, and then I will.
I love those movies.
I will dismantle this entire concept.
Movies, but I know the world I live in, and the world I live in is full of people who hated Ghostbusters because they made it with girls.
Okay.
So I don't think any of those movies are going to be the top.
When they should have hated it because it was just mediocre.
There you go. There's a good reason to hate it. They should have hated it because they changed the rules. And
actually, they shouldn't have hated it. They shouldn't have hated it.
They shouldn't have hated it. They should have just been. They should have been like, well, that was pleasant, but it could have been better.
They should have shrugged it off.
Yes,
which I think they did.
I actually think we've already seen the top grossing movie of the summer. I think it's going to be Guardians.
Okay.
I think, and then I'm saying that domestically and internationally. I think that's going to be. I think it's going to do about 500, 600 million in states, and I think it's going to do over $1 billion worldwide. You
might be right.
Okay.
For me, the movie of the summer, it's also on here, War for the Planet of the Apes.
Really?
I'm not saying, and here's the thing, here's where I'm going to dismantle this and be a poor guest when I come on and then take apart your toy.
Okay.
Summer 2000 or winter of 2009. What was the biggest movie?
Remember.
I think it was 2009. God, it's been so long.
2009 was 8 years ago.
Okay, so winter. So we're talking about winners, money equating winning.
Winter time, like nowadays, I would say Star Wars, but because Star Wars owns winners from the next 5 years.
Right.
But I can't even think of. I'm guessing was it Rise, Planet of the Apes?
No, Avatar.
Oh, Avatar.
The number one, not adjusted for inflation, the number one movie
of
all
the number one movie of all time.
Exactly, that's the thing. It not only won the summer, it not only won the year, it won the decade.
It won everything.
What do you remember about it? Not even enough to remember. Oh yeah, that was this huge one. So my point is,
I don't remember what month and year it came out, but I do remember that it's a giant movie. In fact, I'm talking about going to the little theme park they built in Florida in a couple of weeks.
So my point is, okay, the movie that makes the most amount of money, often years later, this happened with Titanic. Even though I'm a defender of Titanic and Avatar for what they were, money is not the measure. I would also like to point out as evidence, Cars 3 is being released, and who's waiting for Cars 3?
Children.
I would argue no one.
It's still going to make a pile of money.
Transformers 5.
It's going to make a pile of money.
It's going to make a huge pile of money. Does anybody care?
No.
No. So the money, I'll say, sure.
This is a fun little thing.
Yeah, it is a fun little thing.
It's like saying who's going to throw for the most touchdowns in the NFL.
So it's going to be,
that guy might not win the Super Bowl, but it's a fun little thing.
And also another thing I don't care about. So I'm going to say Guardians of the Galaxy or Spider-Man: Homecoming. But you know what? Wonder Woman could be a contender.
Okay, number one, Suck Not Suck. This happened a while back, but we didn't get to talk about it. Josh Brolin is announced to be playing Cable in Deadpool 2. We talked about it for months. Who's going to play Cable? Who's going to play Cable?
Some of us did.
I know I did a lot more than you did. Josh Brolin, I say yay. I think that's a great cast. What do you think?
That's fine.
That's fine.
Josh Brolin's great. He's great in everything he is. I don't know who Cable is.
He's in 3 different comic book universes now, which I think is cool.
Cool. Great.
All right. Next one on the list then, Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele, director of Get Out and, of course, the Key and Peele sketch show. His next movie will be a thriller, not a horror movie. I think, you and I talked about this, that if he keeps succeeding in movies like this, we might never see him do sketch comedy ever again.
Yeah. This is fantastic. I'm very interested in what he's called social thrillers or social horror movies, which I think, that's one of the reasons I love Star Trek so much, is you take an interesting modern question, put it in this weird genre setting, and it's so much fun to watch. That's
similar
why
something like Black Mirror or something like that.
Yeah, or like the Belko Experiment, which I really liked.
So, awesome.
Not Suck.
So Not Suck. So that's 2 Not Sucks in a row. Nice. Christopher Nolan's company Syncope according to IMDb,
yes, which
Yeah.
is notoriously inaccurate.
but it might be accurate. So here we go.
Maybe.
Christopher Nolan's company though might be producing the next Bond movie.
Maybe.
But if it happens,
You would think that Variety or The Hollywood Reporter would have their Internet Movie Database Pro paid up so they could see if this was real or not. Until it comes out in some official, or even rumored, other than, hey, look, somebody changed a thing on Internet Movie Database.
I mean, that's a lot of movie news gets broken this way lately. I mean, the fact that there's a Venom movie coming out got broken on a production page that we found on.
True, maybe. So we'll see.
Yeah.
It's possible.
If it happens, though, I got to say, I think that's a great idea.
I think this would be the coolest thing to happen to the Bond franchise since Daniel Craig.
Yeah. So, number 4, Josh Gad possibly playing the Penguin in the next Batman movie. He hinted at it. Somebody went out and did some fan art, which is what you're seeing up here. I mean, here's my thing. I like Josh Gad. I don't want to play in Penguin.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about Josh McGad. I don't know a lot about Josh
You saw
McGad.
Beauty and the Beast, though.
I did. He was fine. He was funny. He was good. He's you know.
See, to me, he's
who cares?
like, it'd be like if you cast Jack Black as the Penguin. I don't want to see that either. I feel like, I don't know. The Batman video games did a great version of the Penguin. He was like a Bob Hoskins type, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Like a grumpy British guy that just happened to be stout. I loved it. I thought it was a great idea. So I'm going to say suck on that one.
I'm going to say, is there something between suck, not suck?
No.
Yeah, you know what there is? Now there is. It's shrug.
It's meh.
Meh.
So I'm going to change the game now. Suck, not suck, or meh. All right, last one up. More Flash problems. Ezra Miller's schedule is now going to delay the production. They don't even have a director, by the way. So this is a movie that has lost 3 directors. And on top of all that, now even if they find a director, he's not allowed to work on the movie for a year because Ezra Miller's busy.
That's right. There was a brief shining moment a week and a half ago when it was rumored Robert Zemeckis might be directing.
Right?
And
How great did that sound?
For 18 hours, I was very excited for a movie that I have never cared about. He is not directing this movie.
Nope.
I've gone back to complete and total indifference. I would say suck that this is not going to happen if it weren't for the fact that I now officially could not care less about any Flash movie anywhere. Who cares?
I'm going to say suck because this is one strike too many. You can't make a movie with this respect officers. Or screw ups, excuse me.
Yes. For example,
Yeah.
that one right there.
There you go. Okay. That's the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a question...
It's it. It's over. He
or if you-
swore, and we're done. That's it.
If you have an issue with the show, if you want to write in and call me a terrible heathen for swearing on the air, you can. It's bigbms@zoho.com. If you like me and want to hear more of what I have to say and all the filthy words that come out of my mouth, you can check me out on the Die Hard on a Blank podcast. Just search through the Geek Wars Podcast Network. You can find it on there. Chris, anything people can find you on?
Come find me and my good friend Sonia Mansfield on the Dorking Out podcast, wherever fine podcasts, even mediocre podcasts, are purveyed. Also, come find us at Dorking Out Show on Twitter.
Cool.
That's it.
All right, that's the whole show. Check back next week. We're going to be talking to Jason Allen about the new King Arthur movie. Good night. It's a movie. It happens. King Arthur. They just keep making them. Doesn't that thing look like a big piece of crap?
Oh man, it does. It's
Yeah.
like I can't figure out if I'm.
What if we did King Arthur but tons of CGI?
I can't figure out if between that movie and The Mummy, like which one is going to be the bigger train wreck.